Nalanda was founded by King Shakraditya. It is important to mention here that after the Islamic invasions, the destruction of Nalanda University and adjoining monasteries had started. Islamic troops headed by Muhammad Bakhtiar had also destroyed the large library of Nalanda University, having books containing ancient wisdom. Successive Islamic invasions thereafter led to the demise of Nalanda and other monasteries near it, such as the Odantapura Vihar about 6 miles away from Nalanda. This destruction may be corroborated by several resources biographies of Buddhist monks who had visited the sites. Archaeological evidence is also available in the form of ruins, charcoal remains of the Nalanda libraries, and damaged artworks. Several historians described loot and cold-blooded massacres of natives of the villages adjoining Nalanda by the invaders. Muhammad Bakhtiar captured Bihar Sharif Palace and killed most of the inhabitants of that place. Various other great Mahaviharas, such as Vikramshila Jagdadla, etc., also met their ends at the hands of the Turk soldiers at around the same time. These were the decades of the widespread systematic destruction of monasteries in this region. Historical records available in Tibet confirm that some monks from Nalanda and nearby monasteries, such as the Vikramshila monastery, had somehow survived the slaughter and fled to Tibet. Some Tibetan monks had also shifted to Nepal. Among the Tibetan records, the most useful is the biography of the Tibetan monk pilgrim, Dharmaswamam, discovered in 1936. Dharmaswamam had met a few fleeing monks during his studies from about the mid-1200s to 1226. He had learned Indian languages and Sanskrit. He walked to and stayed in Nepal starting in 1226 and visited Bihar about 1234. Including spending one monsoon season in Nalanda. He described the condition in the decades after the sack of Nalanda and other Buddhist monasteries in the Magad region of India. His account states that the destruction of Nalanda was not an accident or misunderstanding, but a part of the widespread destruction of Buddhist monasteries and monuments, including the destruction of Bodh Gaya. The vast manuscript libraries of Magad had been mostly lost. In spite of this systematic destruction by Turk soldiers, some brave Brahman teachers had gathered confidence and resumed the scholastic activities in Nalanda, but at a microscale. Nalanda Mahavihara site is in the state of Bihar, in northeastern India. It comprises the archaeological remains of a monastic and scholastic institution dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 13th century CE. It includes stupas, shrines, viharas, and important artworks in stucco, stone, and metal. Nalanda stands out as the most ancient university in the Indian subcontinent. It engaged in the organized transmission of knowledge over an uninterrupted period of 800 years. The historical development of the site testifies to the development of Buddhism into a religion and the flourishing of monastic and educational traditions. Inscription number 51, Nalanda brick inscription, Gupta year 197. Provenance, a votive stupa attached to the main stupa of Nalanda, Bihar. Script, Brahmi of the 6th century AD. Language, Sanskrit. Prakrit. The paleography of the record leads us to refer to the years of the Gupta era. The Nalanda monument in its present form is the accumulation of 7 successive occupations, each over the ruins of the earlier ones. The result that each time the size of the stupa greatly increased both horizontally and vertically. The stupa of the 5th period, with its 4 corner towers and an eastern facade decorated with rows of niches containing all modeled stucco figures of the Buddha and the Bodhisattva, was more carefully constructed and is best preserved now. The votive stupa, from the core of which the present record has been found, belonged to this period, which can now be dated on the evidence provided by this inscription.